For number 15, it says to factor. And we've noticed this is bottoms up because this number is 2, which is bigger than 1. So 2 times 12 is 24. And we're trying to get to a negative 11. So the factors of 24, 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. The only one that can get to 11 would be 3 and 8. So I make them both negative. And that makes a negative 11 if I add them. And if I multiply a negative and negative makes a positive 24. So I have x minus 3 and x minus 8. So I have it in factor form, but I still got to do bottoms up. So I need to divide by 2. This cannot divide evenly. So I bring the bottom up. This can divide evenly, so that makes 4. So I just have x minus 4. In number 16, this is just a special case. So you have x and x. You're just figuring out what's the square root of 121. And that's 11. And you put plus or minus because a positive 11 times a negative 11 is a negative 121. Number 17. For finding the roots, you're just looking for where does this parabola cross the x-axis, which are these two numbers right here. So at 2 and 4, those are my x's. 2 and 4. That's an and symbol. Okay. For 18, we're just going to solve for x. So we're going to follow our basic two-step equations. So first I'm going to subtract 21 from both sides. So we have x squared equals 100. Second step says to divide, but there's only a 1 here, so I don't need to divide. And then lastly, we square root both sides. So x equals, the square root of 100 is plus or minus 10. And in 19, what is the value of x if the area of the square is 81 square units? So we would take x minus 2 times x minus 2. That is the same thing as saying x minus 2 squared. And that equals the area 81. So now we'll work this problem out where we do the square root first. Okay, so we have x minus 2 equals plus or minus 9. Then add 2. And rewrite it 2 plus or minus 9. So now we need to branch that off. So 2 plus 9 is 11. And 2 minus 9 is negative 7. But we discussed you can't have a negative distance or length. So we're going to use x equals 11.